So a lot of leaders are really interested for this kind of a solution, which is creating that kind of impact.
Yeah. Were you in Algeria?
I was in Algeria, yes. Yeah.
What was happening there?
Algeria, there was, we call it, it was a summit. There was a summit in Algeria where startups across Africa were invited to network with other startups and also pitch to investors, because there's a lot of investors who came across the country, across the continent. Yeah. And it was really a good opportunity for us to also establish potential networks with the people we could collaborate in different dimensions. Yeah. Plus, you see a lot of leaders from different countries in Africa were also present to hear what we are doing, and this is really creating a lot of potential partnership to scale. Yeah.
So, have you gotten any investment so far from all these engagements?
Yeah, sure. I can't say that this is enough investment that we've been looking at to scale, but it's an investment which has really enabled us to achieve quite a huge impact so far. Yeah.
And even test some of your modules.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So any other places you have visited so far? You have visited so many countries, I can't keep track for different ventures. Maybe.
I think it's a blessing to move all these places, which is really, because for me, I never knew that innovation can take me those kind of places. Yeah. But something really good, because I'm now, I can say, when you go to a different country, especially those which are developed, like German, which I also traveled to, you really get your mind opened up. Yeah. The way you perceive innovation, you realize there's quite a lot of gaps. Yeah. There's quite something you can do better. Yeah. Yeah. And those kind of challenging environments, especially when you're challenged with your idea on how best you can improve it. Then I think that's one of the things which was really great for this kind of market linkage programs. Yeah. And for Berlin, it was through SoTheb.
Oh, SoTheb,
SoTheb linked us now to this kind of market linkage program, which was really great. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, one of the things I realized that which has really supported our business was finding a place in the community whereby there are people who are sharing this kind of vision and willing to work with you that kind of journey. Yeah, and that's why we really have that confidence working through with these incubation, acceleration hubs in Kenya who are really sharing that kind of vision. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, Dennis, we are so proud of what you're doing and it's great. And I'm sure even your siblings now, at least they can see our big bro.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm happy that I have also become an inspiration for many people. People who have actually seen my journey growing up in the startup world. They know how I struggled, like how we started this kind of stuff. And they know that now, even though in their own small level of development they are in, something can grow to a big thing. Yeah,
you made so many people believe, actually. And I know you for one resilient guy, man. Like, every time I visited Mombasa, you are building something. Always.
Yeah.
And it was always something new, up to some extent. I think I've ever asked you, like, what happened to the other idea?
Yeah.
You're telling me, you know that one? We pivoted. Now we're in this one, but this is how it works. This is what you're doing. And it's amazing, man, to see you put more effort in some of these. Entrepreneurs, before they really, get that breakpoint moment, is from that resilience that they establish, and you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
So what is the next for Kuza Freezer? What should you expect? When we go to any supermarket, can we now buy it maybe in Europe, maybe in America? Is it a brand that you are looking forward one day to be found in every other shelf where you can get it, however small or big?
Yeah, the issue is not about actually scaling to other countries. The scaling is a bigger picture, of course, which is really positive. But the issue here is that there's still quite a huge potential. Don't even go far in East Africa. The issue here is, in the next few years, we are seeing Kuza Freezer becoming a facility whereby we're able to create solutions, especially in the cold storage space, which are really, it's like an enabler for people, because for us, we don't want to keep building cold storage solutions. That's not the kind of lifestyle we want to be. But what we want to do is that we want to have solutions which can attract different players in place to create impact in their own ways. Like what I told you is that having a cold storage solution which is bringing suppliers, people in the fish value chain who are doing supply. These are people who are tapping to an already existing solution we have built, and they have found a way of improving their livelihoods through that direction. So I think for us, we want to scale production and impact as more lives as possible, especially in curbing post-harvest losses. Working with people right now we are focused in people in the fish value chain, but our cold storage solution is something which has potential to scale to even different market segments. We have people in health, we have people in dairy. We have people even in poultry who need this kind of solution. So scaling this solution will create so much potential to different people to find meaningful use for the solution and improve their livelihoods.
Because that's what actually matters when it comes to such solution, the impact that actually that has. Because if people can really improve their livelihood, they can afford education, they can afford basic needs, then you see a ripple effect in an economy, socioeconomic growth in that community. And this, I see it really improving the way things are. But do you have plans to even explore value chain, just to make sure that yes, you can actually preserve your fish this way, but if things go well, you get maybe some investment, and you even have where people process the fish, package it, export, or even distribute across the country.
I think all those are potential areas of scale that we are looking into. Right now, the next step that you're seeing there is that there are quite a huge, number of people who have yet to access cold storage, and scaling production and coming up with a sustainable business model which is relevant for people in low-income communities. Then I think this solution will be able to reach so many people in different levels. So scaling production is our next big thing. How can we scale local manufacturing, produce products which can be now exported to neighboring countries, and reach as many people as possible, especially those in the fish value chain.
Oh, so amazing. So something else that maybe I'm requesting my guests is to talk to our audience, encourage them, try to encourage them to subscribe, follow us, so that we can grow as I know we'll have so many podcasts, especially in different regions, and also with you, because you're also growing, and I'm sure maybe 2-3 years from now we'll be able to talk about other things. When we come back, maybe we'll talk to more audience, we'll be able to reach more Okangis out there.
Absolutely.
So please feel free.
Yeah, sure. I think first of all for me is to thank you for this kind of platform, because I know this for me is a true story which I've really shared, and it's something which I'm really always like bowing to it, because I know where I've come from, then I know the process, and I know where I'm heading to. Especially knowing where I'm heading to is even the biggest part, because this is what is always a motivational factor. So having these kind of opportunities, I always don't take them for granted, because this is areas I've always been leveraging on to take my skills, my business to the next level. I think for me, what I can tell the people probably watching is that entrepreneurship is not for the faint heart. Exactly. And it's something, if you have passion in doing something, and if you really have that kind of big vision, that's the only thing which can really always wake you up, even at midnight, because you know that there is something which you have not yet achieved. It always be a motivational factor. And being in a position whereby you're willing to learn, don't always think that you always have the best idea, but always be ready to learn, and always think the top-down approach. Because for us, as I started my first business, which I can say that they didn't do well. The approach was different. But when I decided to go back to the community, start with the people first, learn what the challenge are going through, then now devise ways of creating a solution for them. Then they'll be willing to pay because this solution will fit their problems. So all these are some things that I've been able to learn. And there is no way better to reach audiences, reach partners, people who will be able to understand the solution without being in this kind of setup. And that's why I'm really grateful for these opportunities. One of the things I can actually tell you is that Africastalking is one of the things which has really been powering our pay as you go. When customers pay, when customers make payments for our products, they need to get notification via SMS and stuff. Actually, SMS part is what has been really a powerful tool in controlling payments and letting customers know what's going on. And this is what probably I can tell people, that there's quite a lot of tools they can use. There's quite a lot of people they can leverage on, like you, and get various ways to advance the ideas and take them to the market. Yeah.
Very nice. You mean MK or you mean Africastalking?
For me right now, I'm saying you because you've introduced me to this. But Africastalking, probably I knew it. I knew it in a different way. I never knew that Africastalking could still bring us together at the point.
Yes.
But because when I met you, I was mostly doing my own in different kind of projects. But the project I was doing is what introduced me to I think Africastalking has APIs which are more friendly to kind of interact with. And that's what has actually also formed the core basis of what we do right now. And I mean, you actually said something very important, because you see, when you're growing business, what matters is scale. And I think what we shared back in the day, think of how many years now? 2017, now is 7 years. 7 years ago, when you're scaling, you really need it, because of course there's tooling, there's all these. Now the tech that actually supports that, so it comes in handy. And if you want to find me easy, for those who don't know, please, if you see any event that is being hosted either by Africastalking or any other community, and you see Michael Kimathi as one of the participant speaker, or whichever that is happening, please, that's the best place to meet me. And whenever I get a chance, I share as much as I can, because I'm passionate about Africa as a solution provider, as well as creating opportunities that surpass time. I believe all of us, the biggest duty we have in Africa, if you're in Africa, is to leave Africa better than we found it. Absolutely.
So, before I conclude, I would like to share one African proverb about fish. About fish. So, our proverb today says, this one is interesting. If water was enough, fish will not take bait.
What does that really mean?
Let me repeat so that we can all translate. So if water was enough, fish will not take bait. So regardless of what is happening in the world, regardless of the circumstances you are in, you should not settle. You should not say, this is it. And you can even take a fish in an ocean. We all know ocean is endless. Right? It is bigger than even land mass. But still, if you give the fish the bait, it will take. But now in your case, investors will always know that regardless of how you think your business will scale, you still take the bait of investment.
But
no, I mean, just from this story, I know right now you are more smarter, but this proverb could be, actually you can learn from it on different perspectives. But please go ahead.
I was saying like it doesn't mean that all investors are good.
All investors are bad.
Not all investors are bad. Not all investors are good.
Yes.
All investors come with different. I can say they always have their own package. So it's better for you to know which investor with different package exactly.
Yes. So even the fish thinks the bait aligns with it. But this is just a
You might have a wrong bait.
Then you take the wrong bait. But of course, this is a proverb. You can translate it according to your context and learn from it.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you guys who are watching us to give us feedback, tell us how it was. Did you learn something?
Yeah.
Also subscribe, enable notification bell on YouTube. We're on YouTube as Impact Masters Podcast. If you search Impact Masters Podcast or Impact Masters Media, you'll always find us there. Also, if you search Africastalking Retold Podcast, you'll find it. And you'll see even our previous guests try to, to share, support, and all that. But also we exist in all podcast channels such as Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, Hi-Hat, which is the biggest digital radio in the world. Amongst your favorite podcasts channel. And if you go on Buzzsprout and search Impact Masters Podcasts, you can even download this podcast and listen to it over time as you drive, as you exercise. Because sometimes listening to other people's story actually makes you learn faster on what they did and what they didn't do. And even support, because maybe I encourage people even to invest more in Africa.
Yeah.
Why not? So without further ado, this is Michael Kimathi, representing Impact Masters Podcasts in collaboration with Africastalking Podcasts. And actually today I would like to give shout out to our videographer, producer, site manager, who is just behind the camera, Oliver Were Akolo. And by the way, interesting aspect is that they went to school together with our guest today.
Yeah.
And even the same scholarship program. So it's really, it's not a coincidence actually if you think about it, because when I knew you, I didn't know Oliver, but we met Oliver on other circumstances. And now we are actually telling shooting the stories, telling the stories. So shout out. So if you see the videos or the editing, everything is a guy behind the camera. Shout out to him. And until further notice, thank you so much.
Thank you.